Hello Sanjay, welcome to Zenonco.io and Love Heals Cancer. We are here to listen to your journey and move ahead with whatever you have gone through and how you and your family survived through it. And you can start sharing your journey.
Thank you, Nimisha, for having me here. So, let me first tell you about myself. I am 23 years old. I'm currently pursuing diploma in accounting and also a CA student. So, now I can start with my journey and with whom this was concerned. So, it was my uncle. We live as a joint family. Uh, House consists of 11 people currently.
Oh,
And my uncle was 49 years old when he was diagnosed with RCC cancer. So the history goes like he was a CKD patient since past 10 years. So which was not a major thing, but yeah, he had everything in control. He had his regular appointments with the doctor, and the doctor which we consulted here was actually one of the well-known doctors here in the town. So we are based in Calcutta. So he was under this nephro for last 10 years. And in 2018, one night he was returning from a wedding when he got cold and cough, which is a regular thing. It was in the month of November. So, and it was quite a far from our place. Like it was in the outskirts of Kolkata. So while returning, he caught cold and cough and
mm,
started complaining of that he's having chest pain and little bit of breathing problem. But then he had his appointment with the nephro as usual on the next day.
mm,
So, but due to his work pressure and all workforce, he refused to go and go for the appointment. So he skipped that appointment, and then after 1 month time, exactly on 31st December of 2018,
yeah.
he complained at night of a severe pain on his left shoulder. So we were actually quite scared that at night he was complaining such a pain. So then we took him to the hospital in emergency and contacted the nephro. There he was actually diagnosed with uh, fluid stuck in his lungs. So there for 6 months, TB diagnostics, TB was diagnosed, and for 6 months, the medications were continued for TB.
Mm,
And doctor did whatever they wanted to do, and we said, okay, it's fine, nothing, it's everything is going normal. He just got TB, that's all right. But then in 19 April or around May, we thought that when the fluids were tested, when the fluids were taken out of his lung and tested, so we got six tested, and out of six, five were negative for cancer and one was positive for cancer. So
oh,
it was a very confusing state for us that is it really a cancer or it is TB? The doctor said nothing to worry. It's TB. Sometimes it happens that it is treated as cancer also, but
yeah.
nothing to worry about. But then we were a little bit confused because his health did not get better and better. So twice he got his lungs punctured for the fluid, and it was again repeatedly getting filled again and again. So we thought there is some issue. Let's get something done. So in May we got this test done, which is on what it said. I'm just forgetting the word for the cancer test. So that
CT
test was
scan.
not CT scan, biopsy was done.
Okay, fine. See, yeah.
And then in that test, and a PET CT was done. In that,
Okay.
it was got that he has RCC cancer. So this RCC cancer is actually a cancer based on in the kidney area, in the kidneys,
Mm,
which is more futile to spread into your body faster than any other cancer.
right.
So then we got tested and we said, okay, so there is some issue. And when it was diagnosed, we were did not have any knowledge that how in which stage it was exactly.
Okay.
So we got this to a doctor.
Mm,
In Calcutta, we have this Tata Medical. So we got over there. They got to the doctor. Then he said it was around stage 3 and 4, somewhere in the between. So
Mm.
we asked him that is it curable or what are the next steps we are supposed to do? And all the medications he had given, and we continued that. But then he had given one of the injections which was for his bones. That if the cancer disease spread, get got to his bones, so it
Yeah.
could prevent them.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that the doctor did not inform us that there is some side effects of that injection.
Oh.
So his calcium dropped to 5,
Oh my God.
which normal supposed to be around 10, and his dropped to 5. That was the point in our life then we feel like that something is severely going in the opposite direction of where we wanted to be. So he was almost unconscious. Like he had some conscious, but he was very skinny, and he was just throwing his hands arm, getting very restless, and we were under the impression that something is severely wrong. We did not know that the calcium has dropped to such a level. But then we took him to emergency. There they got tested, and then we got to know that it was the side effect of that injection. So we were disheartened that we are getting to this doctor and he did not told us anything. Then from that, the case started to get bad and worse. So there we, when you are in such a situation, people around you get you all the information that go to this doctor, ये doctor को दिखा लो, वो doctor को दिखा लो, ये आपको help कर देगा. So from that time, you won't believe we saw so many uncountable number of doctors that I have no idea. I have never seen anybody doing such a thing. So we tried homeopathic, we tried allopathic, we tried
Mm.
all sorts of thing and everything. My father also went to Jammu to get some those jari booties from someone because somebody had suggested him that it's very good. So he traveled
Mm.
for almost 4 days to just go there and then get those a full bag around 10 kilos of everything mixed in it. And then we had to start.
Okay.
We also had someone from Delhi that told us that ये कुछ दवाइयाँ मैं आपको भेज दूँगा, आप इसको करके रखिएगा, which included like गौमूत्र and all the other things like that.
Oh.
We gave that also, we used that also. But
Okay.
the situation wasn't getting any better. Yeah, he got a little better from what he was suffering at that time, but the real situation which was there, it did not get any better. But then we went to a camp where my father had my sister, actually my elder sister, who was looking after all this thing from the beginning.
Mhm.
So she was working at Pune, and she had got ideas from somewhere by getting all their research that there is a camp in Gujarat, Ahmedabad around, so you can go there, stay there, and get all good.
Okay.
So my mother, my uncle, and my uncle's wife, my aunt, 14 days. That
Okay.
was the best stage that we could have imagined, that something was good for us. He got to eat everything on time. He got his medicine on time. What he had to eat, exercise, everything. It was a camp like you get a surrounding and you do everything over there.
Okay.
Structured.
Yeah.
When he came from them, that was the time we thought that we were relieved actually that finally something is going in our way and everything is going a positive direction. So that time we were also earlier pre-planned that we were supposed to go to Chennai for there's some cancer specialist hospital, and it's a better healthcare system over there. But then again, somebody in our family informed us and suggested us that it's okay, all right. You have been in this camp, everything is going to be good. Don't go over there. So we had all the tickets booked, everything, but then relying on their words, we decided not to go. Came back. And then it was good for a month or so, but then again something was going the other way. Then we had to get another CT and PET done. Then it was found out that the metastasis which was there in the kidney had reduced a bit, but big in size, but it was there as it had started spreading. And that was the point when we got to know it is a stage 4 cancer and we were confirmed. And then we went to Mumbai, Nanavati Hospital. There we were under the Dr. Advani. So he had suggested that we go for an injection, uh, which was 2 vials. Each vial is to be injected in 21 days of gap.
Okay.
This was 2 vials, costed us around 2.5 lakh rupees, 2 vials each. So money was not an issue for us. That it's okay if somebody is getting better, then money is not the deal for us. So we said, okay, fine. कोई problem नहीं, अपन चलाएंगे जब तक है. Last then by November and December 19, it was getting better actually. The the metastasis from the kidney had gone away almost. It was left by almost negligible amount. But then we did another CT in January 20, where it was found of the whole body, and then we found that there was a cyst that had spread and came to the brain, back of the brain over here, which was a very, 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 it's not a good thing. So we thought that let's check with the neuro that if by operation or by anything it can be removed. Well, that injection was to improve your immune system and attack the this thing on your kidney, but not for the brain and bones. We also had radiations over here as suggested by the doctors that go to Mumbai and get this thing done.
Radiation.
So, yes. But that time his body, I'm telling you, like his position was like he could not stand up properly. He could not sit up straight for more than a minute or so. His mind, his mental state was like he used to cry. I have seen this person is such a jolly person and has faced such a terrible things in his life, but that point, if you had seen him, you wouldn't have recognized him that he's that same person which he used to be. He had such a pale voice that if you hear, you start to cry, and it's like that. He was such a jolly, but always had to go with everybody. So, but when this happened, he was not being able to go. We were the support system. I and his son, who's younger to me, 2 years younger to me, we were support to him. Like if he wants to use washroom, he wants to go around to the doctors and anybody. So we had to carry him by the hands and make him walk or get him to the wheelchair and then take him there.
Okay.
So in March, just before the lockdown last year, my aunt and my uncle, we three were to go to Nanavati in Mumbai and get the radiations done over there for the brain. So that was also, it costed us again 3 to 4 lakh, which was fine. It was a 5 sitting, but if required, it could have been 7 sitting. That radiation was actually way more powerful than the previous radiations he had received.
Okay.
And while I'm telling you, you can understand that his health at that time was not in such a good state which could handle that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he got it done. After the first radiation, he was actually like what to say, like we got there on Monday, we got our first radiation on Wednesday, and at Wednesday night everything got very weird because he was on dialysis as he was a CKD patient. From Feb actually he was on dialysis. So what in dialysis, what happens if you are in one state, you are having dialysis in one place, Again, if you are changing from that place, you have to get all the tests done, so that you
Okay.
have not got any infection from those previously used machines. So
Okay.
when we are shifting from Calcutta to Mumbai for dialysis again, we have to get all those tests done. And for those tests done, we have to take him to that place or somebody to come at home and take his.
Right.
Yeah. So we got that done as well. But there was a gap of 7 days before. Within 7 days, we have to get his dialysis done, like
Okay.
within a span of 4 days or 5 days. But it was 7 days from his last dialysis, which was to be done. So
Okay.
when you are not doing a dialysis, your full body starts to swell up.
Right.
It's like
Right.
your hands, your feet, and your face. This portion, especially, you'll be able to identify that
Mm-hmm.
you have to go to your dialysis right now.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that time when we were in Mumbai, it was so difficult to get a dialysis place because everything was booked like I have not seen anywhere. They had already their patients, they could not give up the slots. But finally, by requesting the doctor at Nanavati, he only provided us a place in Nanavati.
Okay.
So, in when you have a radiation of your this skull, they give you a mask sort of thing of a sheet which covers it fully just to protect your structure that it's in
Yes.
state. When
Yes.
first day the structure was taken, it was completely fit. When we came the second day, when the dialysis was not done, that structure did not fit his face.
Oh.
The doctor said the radiation could not be done because his head was like this and all swollen up. So when you put up that structure, it was not getting it. They tried to get the radiations done, but it was of no use. So when they took off the sheets, all the understood that it was not possible. Next day, we got his dialysis done as per the request of the doctor. And
Mm-hmm.
then we got his radiation done after a skip of 1 day. So the radiations continued. From that position, he was actually not being able to walk. Earlier, he could walk with someone holding his hand and go to
Mm-hmm.
the washroom and or other places. But
Mm-hmm.
from that radiation, he could not walk. He could put his weight on his leg, but could not walk freely. So
Okay.
I had to almost hug him and then I have to carry him to the washroom or any place I want.
Okay.
So in the washroom also, I had to stay there. My aunt was usually with him, but I
Mm-hmm.
was the one who used to carry him from places to places. So
Okay.
it was after the radiation, we asked him how did he feel. Got to the doctor that what will be the next steps we have to take. He said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is good. Get all these things done, and you're taking your medicine advised by the doctor advised. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going good. It's going to be good. We asked him how did he feel. He said he's feeling pretty good. Now we don't know
Okay.
how he was actually feeling. Was it just the mindset or was he actually feeling good? We didn't know that. But yeah, we were satisfied that he's feeling good. Everything's going good. Then when we came back, my sister actually suggested that we should once go to neurologist just to check whether the situation is good or not. On 27th January 20, I and my sister, we took the reports and went to a neurologist. Around 3 to 5 months you can expect. That's all. By looking at the brain metastasis, that's all
Mm-hmm.
you can expect. So we were a little bit disheartened that this is okay, and other doctors are saying that continue the injection, it might help and all. So after every 21 days, we had to take him to the hospital. Those injections were to be injected, and it was very difficult for us to like go out and get in, and
Mm-hmm.
again put him on the wheelchair, put him in the car, and that pain which he felt, like I cannot express because when I used to drive him for even dialysis, even the smallest puddles on the road, he could feel it. Like I'm driving and he's like, "She aram se chala, she aram se chala." बोला, "Kaka, I am driving at speed of 20." बोले, "आप फिर भी आराम से चला." I was like, "Okay, ठीक है." So he was in such a pain. The whole journey. And at home, what we tried to do was like connecting with you, the onco.com, and others as well. We got to know that the main thing was mindset that we had to change. So we came up with a plan that be it anything, we have to with him all the time and just cheer him up. This whole time, my sister was working, so she couldn't be here. She was in Pune, but whenever she could, she was here. And at home, we are total 6 kids,
Okay.
including my sister. So what we used to do that we sit with him, sit near him, chat random everything, anything, just talk and make him cheerful, and that actually helped him a lot. Because when you are in such a situation and you know more than a year at a place, then you can understand. Now this lockdown has come. Now we can experience what it's like to be at home for such a long period. But for him at that time, when he was a person who used to work from like he has a flight in the morning 5, he has to go to Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, any place, work there and come back home by 12, 2, 3, like this he used to work.
Okay.
So it was very hectic for him, and he was a very person that used to live a lush life, I would say. And a lush life, it's not that he was very, very lush, but he used to keep everybody around him to have a lush life as well. So his colleagues, everybody was so disheartened that they used to call him and say that he should be happy. So we try to keep his mindset in that position. But in May 2020, he started to lose his conscious, well, not just conscious, I'm saying like that mindset which he had to fight on. That time that we were getting a little bit disheartened because she used to, her wedding was on November and this thing happened in May. So she came from her place to stay with us, and she was the only person who could manipulate or convince my uncle for anything. I mean, anything for anything. Like we were very small. We as a small as very kid because gap between ourselves and my sister is quite a bit. She's already married and we are still at the age of 23. So she was the most mature kid in our place, and everybody is like, okay, Shruti is everything. Shruti bata rahi hai, chalo ye kar lete, wo kar lete. So she was the person who could convince her and change his mindset. But then when she was not there, we tried to keep him so little bit that also tempers, and already the disease was carrying on. So on the day of unlock, which was 30th May, his 30th May, 29th May, his health started to deteriorate pretty bad. Like he was not being able to side in his chest area and the neck area, which was very severe, and he could not bear it at all. He was like very restless that लेके चलो डॉक्टर का बहुत दर्द हो रहा है ऐसे ऐसे वैसे वैसे. So we took him to the hospital in emergency. TMC we took him. There he used to take around 21 oral tablets. So when we went to TMC, when the doctors looked at him that what is the situation and medicine, they offered the medicine and they were surprised that in such a state a person is being able to take 21 oral tablets of medicine. was like, wasn't this normal? Because for us it was normal. We never gave him anything like from injection or everything.
Okay.
So the doctors were even in such a shock that I've been looking at them shocked. I myself was shocked that this was not even normal. But then, yeah, we got him done, and then they said they couldn't help much. They could just give him some pain relief medicines and just to make him. We got them. He slept for a while. We got them, brought him. He was fine. Next day, we consulted a neuro again that he was complaining of such pain and this and all. So he gave us 2 new tablets. One was for his sleep, which he could not sleep at night, which was very painful for my aunt and as well for my uncle as well. Because my aunt used to consistently stay up with him at night. She used to sleep beside him. So whenever he got up, he just used to bang his hand on him, yaar, ujja, नींद नहीं आ रही है, ऐसे करके, वो करके. And my grandmother used to always come in the morning at 5 and give him a glass of water just to drink, and then the day carried on. But when we gave that medicine, he was actually very, I don't know that he was unconscious or even conscious, because after that medicine he was asleep, but his, whenever we called him that Kaka Sundro, he used to react. Nothing more than that.
Okay.
So we thought that it is maybe the side effects of that medicine, because earlier it had happened, and whenever we have given us tablets for his sleep, he gets a sleep for around 10 hours approximately. And the situation was same. So we were under the impression that it's the side effect of that medicine. But when it was more than 10 hours, we were actually worried. Kya hua yaar, kaisa hai? We contacted the doctor. The doctor said it's a little powerful medicine. It will get over by the evening 3 or 5. So we tried to feed him. So we took it easily, not very easily. We had to open his mouth. We have to feed him with the spoon, and then he used to sleep with his mouth in a spoon. We were to feed him kaka, khana khao, khao, and he slowly, usually used to swallow. On the night of May 30th, we fed him a little bit of khichdi and the medicine which he used to take.
Okay.
And he was already asleep, so all the kids were sitting there, and we thought that he's asleep. Let's go. Kaki is over there, so she'll be taking care. So we went around 2:30, and we went off to our rooms and went to sleep. In the morning, when my grandmother came, I just wake him up that Bobby would panic. He wasn't responding. So started panicking and called us. So I was exactly on the room above where he was. And they started calling and recording. And I was just asleep. 3 o'clock I was asleep, 5 o'clock before. So I was almost asleep. Got up, went down. We had that oximeter and all. So we just tried to think that what's the situation. There was no pulse and father came. So yesterday, let's take him to an emergency. Let's see what is the situation. That situation was like we couldn't think of anything and just had to do something. We picked him up. Very difficult. It was very difficult for us to already sleeping and pick him up and take him to the car and then the doctor's prayer. Then in the emergency, we declared him over there that it had happened somewhere between 2:30 to 5 a.m. Not at 5 a.m. something happened, but sometime in between something happened due to which. So that was actually pretty intense. Whenever you are planned, you are not planned for anything like this. So this was a pretty story how it happened. Starting from the New Year of 19 till May. This was.
So, like you were a student, right? You were studying.
Sorry?
You were a student. You were studying at that time.
Yes.
So,
yes,
how
yes.
did you manage your studies?
Like I don't know, you have an idea that CA exams are done every 6 months.
Yes.
So there was just of this year, I had 4 attempts, out of which I could only give 1 attempt, which was also under the same pressure that everything had to be done. Because being my father, the person who's working, my
Mhm.
sister being already married, and me being the eldest boy person as the
Mhm.
so I had to be with him and I had to take care of him and everything. So that was like very difficult situation for me to get on and off again, on and off again, off and on. Very difficult for me. But the positive which I would like to take from that is whether I have been in that journey, it has provided me another opportunity. So like being with him, he had
Mhm.
suggested me so many things and so many things not to do and to do, which opened a new opportunity for me. Like I was stuck in such a mindset that I have to do CA, CA, CA करना अपने को और कहीं
Mhm.
नहीं जाना. But then he opened our mindset that भाई CA के पीछे ही इतना कुछ है लाइफ में करने को. And that actually opened me to a new opportunities, which now which I am doing. I am very happy.
That's nice.
So just to
So,
tell you about the family,
mhm.
he's the uncle, auntie, and they have 3 kids.
Okay.
The eldest is the daughter, who's just 11 months elder to me.
Okay.
Second is the son, who is 2 years younger to me, and the third, the youngest, is the son, who's 13 years of age currently.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
So, how drastically did your lifestyle change during or after the treatment?
what during, I would say that the lifestyle was a panic change, that we had to get accustomed to everything in a span of just thing had to we had to react in such a time that अरे क्या करना है अभी क्या भी करते हैं. And that was the time because we live as a joint family and we do not differentiate like कि वो मेरे काका का बेटा है या मेरी काकी है ऐसा कुछ नहीं. It's like वो मेरे पापा है वो भी मेरे पापा ही है ऐसा करके. So earlier we had a different touch. I mean, what to say, like I with my uncle, he was a very passionate person for fitness, and
Okay.
I myself was the person who loved sports and wanted to be fit as any time. So we had that
Okay.
connection that he used to every day he had used to go for playing badminton.
Mhm. Right.
Get some of your talents into the game. He was the person who dragged me area to get in. And today these learnings are like I cannot express. I cannot be thankful to him that he taught me such. Also, one of the taught me and left for me was he was a environmental lover. So he I would say that he planted around pots of 200 of all sorts of plants like flowering, fruits, vegetables, everything.
That's nice.
Love for the plants or environment or anything, but the way he used to give care for them, he used
Mhm.
to explain and he used to like when you planting a seed, it grows and gives you a fruit. That
Right.
happiness when you have sown it with your hands and you get the fruit out of it, that was the happiness that which I felt while he was explaining and he was giving me that thing. Currently, I can say that I am looking after 400 pots at my home currently.
Oh, wow.
And I am so happy and so pleased and so thankful to him that my lockdown, I would say my lockdown was, I didn't feel like lockdown because I had some place to go and give my time and be with them.
400 babies to take care of.
400 babies to take.
Right.
This was
That's
my
nice.
the best thing I can never be thankful enough for that.
So, like, there are many patients and caregivers with us, who are still going through with their own career journey. So, if you could say one thing to them, what would it be?
So the one and only thing which I would like to tell them is never to lose hope, because the life will push you down and down and down so much that at a point of time you will feel that, be it financially or be it, there is a reaction for there is a reaction that say each and every action has opposite and equal reaction.
Right.
How deep you are pushed down, equally up you will go. So there is a phase of your life which you have to deal with. Never to get disheartened, never to lose hope. Just be with your journey, go on and keep smiling as always.
That's nice. Thank you so much for your time. It was an inspiring talk and it was a great talk actually. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for inspiring everyone who would be listening to you, to your story.
Thank you so much.